Today, our St. Louis Dragons will kick off season number 4 of the series as we host the Las Vegas Raiders for our Week 1 matchup. Last episode was the 2026 NFL Draft. In case you missed that episode, I will leave the card at the top right of the screen for you to go ahead and check out. It ended up being a really fun draft, certainly some interesting moves, especially at the top, and some big-time selections and trades. The Buccaneers selected Oregon offensive lineman Mimoni Tuliesi with the number 1 pick. In terms of quarterbacks in the first round, we had 2. The Giants moved up for Stanley Cubbage Jr., while the defending Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys are preparing for life after Dak, selecting Connor Canyon with the final pick in the round. As for us, we moved up and down the board. We traded up in the first round to acquire Samondre Mack, an offensive guard out of Alabama. We sticked and picked in the second round with Jalen Bourgeois. And then we got some solid depth after that with Nnamdi Sanaga, Trey Flynn, Aaron Mayer, and Franklin Headliner. So with that, we have our team pretty much assembled, and we are ready to move into season number 4 with a new look team, hoping to capitalize off of a great season last year in which we made a lot of strides, making the playoffs for the first time in this series, and even winning a playoff game and almost winning 2. We signed a handful of undrafted free agents as well. I also signed Hendon Hooker out of free agency because I wanted a third quarterback for the preseason. So let's take a look at what our preseason lineup will look like. And as you guys know, I don't like to play a ton of starters. I will get some of these guys limited reps, but for the most part, I don't like risking injury. So this is what the depth chart is going to look like going into the preseason. Really curious to see some of these young guys, and with a handful of position battles, including for our 2 guard spots, Royal Osachua, Zach Tom, and rookie Samondre Mack will be competing there. The 2 safeties, Jalen Bourgeois and Semisoni Saluni, are going to have to earn their spot. And then pretty much everywhere on the defensive line, other than Simeon Bonnet, is up for grabs. We will have Bonnet play inside a little bit. I want to experiment with that because he is 300 pounds and he theoretically could play interior defensive line. So I just kind of want to see how he does in those snaps and maybe get him some playing time there in the future. We ended up going 1-2 in the preseason, losing to the Bengals and the Colts, and then we won our last game against the Steelers. We had the worst amount of offensive yards in the league, so that's cool. Now that's part of having pretty much only backups play. Chance Matumolo and Hendon Hooker were both very unexciting. Neither of them played all that well. Chances are Matumolo makes the final roster and Hooker does not. Nobody really stepped up in terms of the young running backs. It looks like Swift and Juskin's spots aren't up for grabs. A few guys stood out in the receiving game, but again, nothing crazy. Within the offensive line, Zach Tom, Royal Osachua, and Samondre Mack all played pretty solid. There were more guys who really stood out defensively, though. A few guys really played well. Nnamdi Sanaga was very impressive, not just as a pass rusher, but also in the run game. Simeon Bonnet played well. And then we also had multiple interceptions from Demore Diggins and a handful of other guys, including Jalen Bourgeois, forcing turnovers. So that's pretty cool to see, as we now have to cut our roster down. We currently have 74 players on the team. We need to narrow that down to 53. So 21 guys are going to get cut. We can put 12 on the practice squad. Everybody else, it's sayonara. There were obviously some tough decisions that we had to make, but overall, this ended up actually being a lot easier than I expected. And overall, I feel pretty good with our final 53. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball. Hendon Hooker, thanks for coming out. We're only rolling with 2 quarterbacks. At the running back position, the rookie, Franklin Headliner, does not make the final roster. He will go to the practice squad, and we will carry 4 running backs. We're going to have 7 wide receivers this year. Last year, we only had 5, at times 4, but this year, we're going to have a lot. Tight end, again, we are only rolling with 2. On the offensive line, we're going to cut Logan Bruce. He's one of the few guys who's been here since day 1. He is not going to stick around. Former draft pick Raekwon Tarpley, who has not made the final roster over the last 2 years, will make it this season. Yannick Ngakoue does not make the final roster. We end up cutting him. Yaya Diaby was another surprise cut. We just didn't really have enough space for him compared to the other pass rushers on the team. Kevin Cabrera is a guy I wanted to keep on the practice squad, but for whatever reason, he wasn't eligible, so unfortunately, we had to cut him. Trey Flynn does not make the final roster, but undrafted rookie Connor Miller Sr. does make the final roster over Flynn, who was one of our draft picks. And with that, we've got our 53-man roster intact and ready to roll for season number 4. The Raiders are the first team on the schedule, but before we get started, we've got to look at the official depth chart to kick off this season. Obviously, things will change based on performance. At wide receiver, Arturo Modelo will be a full-time starter on the outside. He mostly played in the slot last year, so I'm excited to see what he does as an outside receiver. Samandre Mack will not start week 1. It'll be Osuchua and Tom at guard. Knowing our offensive line, somebody's going to get hurt in the second quarter. Samandre Mack is going to get playing time very soon. Our offensive line was made of glass last year, so it's only a matter of time until he gets to play. As for the defense, I thought about making a move at safety and potentially acquiring a veteran like Malik Hooker, but for now, we're going to roll with our young guys, Bourgeois and Saluni, both of whom are going to be starters. We're also going to see a lot of Nnamdi Sanaga. He's going to be a rotational pass rusher, while Demore Diggins wins the slot corner job over Ronrakis Barber. We do have an injury this week. Javon Kinlaw got hurt in practice. He is out. Absolute shocker. Who could have seen this one coming? Javon Kinlaw is hurt. Wild stuff. Never would have seen that coming in a million years. We also have to name 3 new team captains. Puma Whitlock, Simeon Bonnet, and Devin White are all back, but the other 3 captains from last year left. So we're going to have to figure out 3 new guys. The first of which might be a little bit of a surprise. It's Griffin Weaver III. He was a team captain at TCU. He is one of the few skill position players with the leadership tag on offense, so he's going to be named a team captain. Lane Johnson, one of their big free agent signings, will replace Tyron Smith as the captain of the offensive line. And then Grady Jarrett, another one of our veteran free agent signings, will be one of our new captains on the defensive side of the ball. Our next order of business will be determining a season goal. Being that we won a playoff game last year, I feel like it would be unreasonable to pick anything less. So because of that, we are going to choose the goal of winning the Super Bowl. Maybe that's not entirely reasonable. I feel like this team still has a ways to go, but I can't pick anything less than what we did last year because the goal is that we continuously improve. As we take a look at our matchup against the Raiders, I think the key is going to be what we do on the defensive side of the ball. Last year, the defense was our team's X factor. It almost didn't really matter how the offense played. If our defense has a good game, we usually win. If our defense struggles, we usually lose. It was really that simple, and our defense had some great games, but was also very inconsistent. I really want to focus on stopping the run because the Raiders have one of the best running backs in the NFL, and they also have a very mobile quarterback in Kyler Murray. So obviously, our Dragons replaced the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC West. That meant all the Cardinals players were spread out to other teams. Kyler has ended up on the Raiders, where he was really good early on, but has seemingly gotten worse each season. Now, they've got some great skill position players. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and Michael Mayer headline the list. Defensively, obviously, they're led by Max Crosby and others. Pretty similar team to what they've had in real life. So it's a little bit of a surprise that this team has been mostly successful in this series, making the playoffs twice, albeit last year they were a little bit more disappointing. So with that, we will begin season number 4 of the St. Louis Dragons franchise here on Madden 24. Our opponent today is the Las Vegas Raiders. We'll see which team can start this season with a record of 1-0. The Dragons are coming off such a great season a year ago, winning 10 games, grabbing a wild card spot for the first time in team history, upsetting 2-seeded San Francisco on the road, and nearly pulling off one of the craziest comebacks in the history of the NFL in the divisional round against top-seeded Atlanta. Let's see what we can do against a very talented Raiders team coming off a disappointing season last year, but they still made the postseason twice in this franchise. Dicker will kick us off, and season number 4 will begin with a touchback in the end zone as we take a look at Kyler Murray, the former number 1 pick out of the University of Oklahoma, leading out the Raider offense. A lot of familiar faces here for the Raiders. They still have Josh Jacobs. They still have Devontae Adams, amongst others. And we'll see if the Raiders can look to bounce back after only winning 7 games a season ago. 2nd and 6 for Las Vegas. Empty backfield here for Kyler as he looks to throw it. And it's nearly intercepted in and out of the hands of Devin White. He should have come down with that one. Now it's a 3rd and 6 for the Raiders. Again empty. Kyler looks to throw it. He's going to look short. and it is incomplete. Good coverage by Cam Lucifer II in his second season out of the University of South Carolina. Defense forces a 3 and out, and now we take a look at the offense led by Puma Whitlock, the third-year quarterback out of the Ohio State University. Puma showed some great strides last year, finishing in 4th for the MVP award, but he did struggle in the playoffs. First down, he's going to look short for Jamison Williams, weaving his way through defenders as J-Mo gets hurt after gaining 6. It's a bruised sternum for Jamison Williams. He will not return today. Not a long-term injury, but we are without our top target, meaning all the other pass catchers on the offense are going to have to step up. I want to see what Arturo Modelo can do in specific as the full-time number 1 receiver for the rest of the game. 2nd and 4, it's a handoff for DeAndre Swift. Swift blocks. Swift gets a big block from Weaver, jukes by the defender, and brings it to the 42. A gain of around 23 yards for DeAndre Swift in his 7th season. He's now one of the older running backs in the NFL, but he seems to be getting better with age. On first down, Puma on the run with a dime for Griffin Weaver, the first-time team captain, who brings it to the 14. I'm expecting a breakout season from Weaver. We saw some good flashes from him during the second half of the year. Dragons now with it in the red zone. Puma's already in the zone, as on first down he tries to evade the pressure, but he is sacked. Max Crosby and Baba Matumko with half the sack each, and now it's a 3rd and 12. Puma's already out of the zone. I don't really know why. I don't think sacks take him out of it, as he's going to look to throw it under pressure. Hit as he throws, and he's incomplete. And there's the offensive line injury. I said it was going to happen in the second quarter. I'm wrong. I expected too much of us. It happened in the first. Cameron Dicker's kick is good, and the Dragons start their season with a field goal. They lead it 3-0. Drive number 2 now for the Raiders, as on first down, Kyler Murray looks to throw it. Under pressure, he fires, and it's hauled in by Jacoby Myers, the veteran wideout, who brings it to the 37. Following play here for Las Vegas, it's going to be a play action. Kyler again looks to throw it, and he's got the fullback, David Hanna, wide open. Fofana was supposed to cover him, but he got fooled by the play fake and figured he might as well just keep going after the quarterback, and, well, it backfires. Kyler's got a wide open man up the middle. It's the tight end, Colby Parkinson, who brings it to the 18. 3rd and 5 now for Las Vegas. Can they punch it in? Kyler with time, under pressure now. He is sacked. B.J. Ojulari brings him down with the sack. Ojulari, acquired last year at the trade deadline, has proven to be a phenomenal addition for this defense. Ever since we traded for him, he's been a completely different player than he was with Carolina. The field goal is up and good from Daniel Carlson, one of the best kickers in the NFL, and this game is now tied at 3. Dragons back on offense, 2nd and 10. Puma, he's going to evade pressure, looking to run with it as he slides forward to the 45-yard line for a gain of 15. We know Puma Whitlock's an athlete. He can make plays with his legs, showing it there. 2nd and 4 with under 30 to go in the quarter. It's Darwin Juskins with the handoff, and he gets a solid gain to the 39. Juskins was also acquired via trade mid-season, and he has also proven to be a pretty solid addition as the second back behind Swift. Final play at the quarter, Modelo is wide open, and he brings it to the 18. Who was supposed to cover him? There was nobody within a 10-mile radius of Arturo Modelo when he caught the ball. That'll wrap up the first quarter, tied up at 3. The Dragons look fairly solid so far on both sides of the ball as they're moving it here in the red zone. 3rd and goal. Puma with no time to throw it. He's sacked by Baba Matumko. That was 2-down territory for the Dragons. They were fully ready to go for it on 4th down had they not gotten it. But the sack is going to back them up to the 8. And, well, now you're not exactly in 4-down territory. So Dicker splits the uprights. It's a 25-yarder. And it's now 6-3. Battle of the field goals so far. Raiders back with it. Nice throw and catch by the tight end, Michael Mayer. In his 4th season out of Notre Dame, he brings it to the 44. 2nd and 8. It's a pitch for Jacobs, and he is leveled. Devin White brings him down for a loss of 3. White has led the NFL in tackles in each of the last 3 seasons. 3rd and long. Quick throw is caught by Mayer. Right as Devin White makes a great play in run defense, he gets burnt in coverage, and Kyler quickly is able to recognize that. 2nd and 10 in the red zone. Play action. Kyler looking, fires. It's caught for a touchdown. Michael Mayer strikes again. A big drive for Mayer, and the Raiders are the first ones to score a touchdown. They lead it 10-6. Dragons back with it. Tykeem Keon Jr. fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by the defense. A turnover from the St. Louis offense, and to make matters worse, Jedrick Wills suffers a high ankle sprain. That'll end his day. Not ideal. So the Raiders get the ball with an incredible field position as it's 2nd and 3. Play action. Kyler rolls out to the right side. He's leveled, fumbles it, and it's recovered by Bonnet. Devin White with the strip sack, and now Kyler Murray is hurt on the play for the Raiders. We'll check on his status shortly as the Dragons get it back on offense. First play at the drive. Juskins fumbles, and it's picked up by the Raiders. That's 3 fumbles within the span of a minute. If you think that's too good to be true, well, it's probably because it is. This play is going to be reviewed, and thankfully it looks like Juskins was clearly down. I mean, that's not even close. How did they think that was a fumble to begin with? So luckily the play is reversed and the Dragons will keep possession. First down, Puma looking short, has Modelo wide open. Arturo Modelo is out of bounds at the 48. The Raiders have chosen, not to cover him on certain plays today. I don't know why, because, well, he's really good. 2nd and 6, screen for Modelo, and the Raiders read it perfectly for a loss of 2. The Dragons ran screens more effectively than just about anybody in the NFL last year, but that time it didn't really work. 3rd and 8, Puma under pressure. He has to get rid of it. Max Crosby with the quarterback hit, and so the Dragons have to punt it, and the Raiders have a new quarterback in. Valentino Maldonado, the 4th-round rookie out of San Diego State, misfires on his first NFL pass. Kyler Murray tore his labrum on the hit from Devin White. That's a multi-week injury, and it'll be Maldonado in at quarterback the rest of the way as he connects with Michael Mayer for a big catch. Now a 3rd and 10. Maldonado is Devontae Adams wide open up the field. Who was supposed to cover him? This isn't some random slot receiver. This is Devontae Adams, a future Hall of Famer. 2nd and 10. Maldonado connects with Michael Mayer, who has been the best player on the field here in the first half. Mayer with 7 catches for over 100 yards already. The Raiders would be slow to the line of scrimmage, calling a timeout with just 4 seconds left, and they're going to bring the field goal team out. 39-yard try for Daniel Carlson is up and in, and that'll wrap up what has been an interesting first half. The Las Vegas Raiders lead 13-6, but not without casualty. Kyler Murray suffers a torn labrum out for multiple weeks, and the rookie Valentino Maldonado is in at quarterback the rest of the game for Las Vegas. Let's take a look at our halftime report. We will start in San Francisco. Some good news here. The Broncos have the edge over the Niners, 14-10. Second-year quarterback Zachariah Drake is off to a good start for Denver. Broncos country, let's ride. You know who's not riding? The Washington Commanders. They are getting pummeled 17-0 by Coleridge Bernard Stroud, the 4th in the Houston Texans, as he fires for Brendan Ayuk for a score. And then in Lambeau, the Rams got the edge over the Packers earlier today in overtime, 27-21, with a game-winning touchdown here on this play from Deshaun Watson and the offense. The Packers' new rookies did look awfully good, though. Johnny Gordon won the starting job at quarterback over Jordan Love, and he had a pretty good first game. So as we take a look at what we need to do in the second half, I want to see more efficiency, more big plays in the passing game. There's been no explosiveness going downfield with our offense. And then defensively, we cannot stop the intermediate area of the field. Yes, they have the backup quarterback, but Michael Mayer's torched us regardless of who's in at quarterback. Hopefully we can get our tight end more involved the rest of the way as Isaiah Likely brings it to the 45 for a first down. 3rd and 2 now. Dragons moving it nicely as it's a handoff for DeAndre Swift with room, and Swift gets around 8. The run game's been pretty good so far. The Dragons looking to run it often here as they have really leaned on it here on this opening possession. 3rd and 10 from the 21. Puma looks to throw it under pressure, incomplete as he misfires for Isaiah Likely. Another good drive and another field goal from the St. Louis Dragons, who have been really solid offensively today, but their inefficiency to move the ball in the red zone has been catastrophic. That kick almost missed, and it's now 13-9. Good run here on 2nd and inches by Josh Jacobs, as now Nnamdi Sanaga is hurt. Both teams are getting hammered by the injury bug. Neither of these teams look overly conditioned for the start of the season. Up the middle, what a play by Michael Mayer. who has been the star of this show for the Raiders. He brings it to the 28. That was really good coverage, and it didn't matter. 3rd and 5. Adams drops it. He was wide open, too. That was a good throw. A rare drop from Davante Adams, and that'll bring out the field goal team. Both kickers have been awfully busy today. Cameron Dickers, 3 for 3. Daniel Carlson's now 3 for 3. And the Raiders are up 16-9. Dragons back with it. They have still not scored a touchdown today. Up the middle, it's Aaron Mayer, the rookie out of the USC, with his first career reception. That'll go for a first down. Hopefully we get some more looks from Mayer, who's a pretty talented player. On first down, Puma, he will connect. A risky throw, but it proves to be a big play for Griffin Weaver III, who gets it to the 37-yard line for another Dragons first down. St. Louis has got another good drive going. Can they finally score a touchdown? 2nd and 9. Darwin Juskins smothered in the backfield for a loss of a yard by Divine Diablo. And now Baba Batumko is hurt for the Raiders. He's had a great game today with a sack and a half. 3rd and 10. Puma for the end zone. It's incomplete. Modelo was leveled in the back end of the secondary by Jacoby Cunningham, the second-year safety out of Ohio State. And the Dragons are going to have to kick again. You don't know how bad I want to go for it on 4th down, but none of these are on 4th and short. They're all like 4th and 10. What are we supposed to do? It's now 16-12. Jacobs annihilates Cam Lucifer and then gets annihilated himself by the rookie Jalen Bourgeois. Following play, Jacobs loses a yard in the backfield. Nice play there by Devin White. And that'll wrap up the third quarter. 16-12. The Raiders have the edge. 1 touchdown and 7 field goals combined today. Here's a nice move by Jacobs. He gets the first down to the 34. And so the Raiders' offense is looking good. The Dragons certainly do not want to let them in the end zone, as that would make it a 2-score game. Following play, Maldonado calls for motion. He looks to throw it with Jacobs in the zone, as it's caught by Adams, who brings it into the red zone. Okudah had a chance to pick that ball off, too, but he just misplays it. 3rd and 1 now, biggest play of the game. Maldonado, he connects. And it's not quite a touchdown for Mayer, but they say he was down at the 1. Mayer's been a little quieter in this second half, but he has still been awfully effective. And then on 1st and goal, it's the fullback, David Hanna, in for the score. The Raiders are ahead by multiple possessions, as it's now 23-12, and it's time for the offense to make some big plays. We have not seen the explosiveness from this group today. On 2nd down, it's a short throw for Juskins. He gets a solid gain of 9 on the screen, but there's a flag. It's going to be a holding call against the offense. Not ideal. Ryan Jensen, the center, called for the penalty. Now it's a 3rd and 4 for the Dragons. We'll see if they convert, and if they don't, they'll have a tough decision upcoming. Puma looks for the sidelines. Isaiah Likely's got it for a first down with Max Crosby in coverage, oddly enough. The Raiders are going to challenge if Likely got both feet in bounds, and as you can see, he very clearly did. I don't know what the Raiders were thinking there. Clear as day. The head coach was literally right next to him. How did he not see that he got both feet in? Following play, it's intercepted! Puma's picked off by Sidney Brown, who gets it to the 27, tackled by Puma Whitlock, and the Raiders are in prime position to finish off the game. A costly turnover by the Dragons. Now they have to get a stop, or else this game surely is over. Jacobs loses 2. B.J. Ojulari in the backfield to make the play. 2nd and 12. Vegas already chewing clock, and rightfully so. Maldonado fires for Mayer, his 10th reception of the game, as he brings it to the 10. What a showing by the tight end, Michael Mayer. A career day for him. So now the Raiders are on the goal line looking to finish it off. Jacobs loses yards in the backfield. Devin White and Simeon Bonnet are there to bring him down. 2nd and goal with under 4 to go. Maldonado is sacked. Owen Popo and DeJuan Overton are there with half a sack, as Bonnet is now hurt. Not a serious injury. He pulled a hamstring, but as we saw last year with Bonnet, he might be more injury prone than we initially thought. 3rd and goal. Maldonado sacked again. It's Trajan Blyshenden who brings him down, and it'll remain a 2-score game as the Raiders bring back out the field goal unit. Daniel Carlson is 3 for 3. How about another? Splits the uprights. It's now 26-12. The Dragons are not in a good spot. They're down by 14 points. The offense has not scored a touchdown today. But we were down by 14 against Atlanta. Came back and tied it. Can we do it again? Puma connects with Juskins, who breaks a tackle to the 39. Got to move quick. Go no huddle. Puma's now going to look to go downfield. He's got a man wide open. It's Modelo, who is pushed out of bounds all the way at the 16. The Dragons finally look to go downfield, and it works. 3rd and 10 now after a couple incompletions. Puma scrambles to the right side, hoping something opens up, and he fires for a touchdown. It's Modelo time. Arturo Modelo with the touchdown. First of the season for the Dragons. I wish it could have been sooner than with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter, but what can you do? The Dragons would choose not to onside kick. They actually trust their defense to get a stop. Let's see if they prove to be correct. Got to assume the Raiders are going to run it early and often. Jacobs gets 3, and the Dragons are not going to waste any time calling their timeouts as they use their first one. 2nd and 7. Jacobs with a hole is wrapped up by Saluni and Popo, just shy of the yard to gain, and now it's a 3rd and inches. I feel like sometimes on a 3rd down in this situation, you might look to throw it. When you're this close, you got to expect a run, right? Well, it's a play action. Maldonado under pressure, and he throws it away. Ojolari and Popo were in the backfield, and the defense comes up with a stop. So now the offense theoretically has a chance to tie the game. I wouldn't rule out a fake here, as crazy as that sounds. Okay, they don't. And it'll be received inside the 10 by Weaver, who doesn't get much. He brings it to the 18. We'll see if the offense can complete the comeback. They need an 82-yard drive. They have 1 timeout. The offense has not been all that impressive today, but they finally scored a touchdown on their last drive. Puma on 1st down under pressure, forces it up, and it's broken up in the secondary. Ballsy throw as it goes incomplete. 2nd and 10 with 2:10 to go and a timeout. Puma looking for the sideline. It's Griffin Weaver who's out of bounds for a 1st down, gaining around 15 yards. So with 2:05 to go and the 2-minute warning looming, the Dragons have enough time to run the ball. DeAndre Swift is out of bounds for a gain of 8 with 2:01 on the clock. So they theoretically, again, could look to run the ball. On 2nd and 2, that's exactly what they do. 1st down for Swift with room. He brings it to the 47. The Dragons are already past midfield. Pretty good start. We'll see if they can keep it going. Following play after the 1st down run by Swift, this time it's a pass. Puma looking to throw it. He goes short for Tykeem Keon Jr., his 6th reception of the game, and he gets around 3. The Dragons are going to go no huddle. They do not have time to waste. 2nd down and 7 now. 1.5 to go. Puma's under pressure. He's sacked by Tyree Wilson. It was supposed to be a screen, but he couldn't get it off in time. 3rd and 14 now after the no huddle. Short throw caught by Arturo Modelo, and he gets 13. The Dragons are going to rush back to the line of scrimmage and go for it here on 4th and 1. Game on the line. It's a run play, and Darwin Juskins gets the first. The Dragons are going to finally use their timeout here, gets them an opportunity to regroup after a big 4th down conversion. Following play from the 31. Puma has a wide open man downfield. It's Isaiah Likely. We're tied. What a play by the offense. A broken coverage by the Raider defense. Nobody was back deep to cover Isaiah Likely, who is wide open near the corner of the end zone as he flips in for a score, and the Dragons complete another improbable comeback, 26-26. Now the Raiders are going to get the ball with 37 seconds and 2 timeouts. Can the rookie, Valentino Maldonado, lead the Raiders down the field for the win? On 1st down, here's Maldonado. He's got plenty of time looking for the home run, and he throws it away. Daniel Carlson warming up on the sideline, one of the best kickers in the NFL. If there's somebody you trust to make this kick, well, it's probably him. 2nd and 10. Maldonado fires. It's caught for a gain of about 9 by Trey Tucker. Now we've got a 3rd and 1. Giant play here for the Raiders, who still have both of those timeouts in their back pocket. Maldonado looks to throw it. He's got an open man short. It's Myers for the 1st down. He gets it to the 43, and they use their first of 2 timeouts. Down to 22 seconds now. Maldonado is a wide open man upfield. It's Adams. Broken tackle. He gets it to the 24. The Raiders are in field goal range and they can run some time off the clock and win it. With 2 seconds, it's Carlson on for the game winner. From 41 yards out, it's nearly blocked, and it goes through. Dan the Man wins it for the Las Vegas Raiders. 29-26, your final in an absolute thriller. This game ended up being a wild one, but the Raiders survive as they win it by 3, and the Dragons start their season with a record of 0-1. We had a chance to win this game. We did not play well for 3.5 quarters. The offense finally showed up, but unfortunately it was too little too late, and we don't get the job done. I saw more concerns in this game offensively than on defense, and there are some things I'm worried about defensively, but the offense was just really stagnant for 3.5 quarters. Not a lot of creativity with the play calling, not a lot of aggressiveness. After Puma Whitlock threw the interception, which was a bad throw, and we thought the game was over, we finally looked downfield and it worked. Other than the interception and the big drives late, Puma Whitlock was fine. Before the pick, he didn't have any game-breaking mistakes, but he also didn't have any game-breaking plays up until the end. The Raiders obviously had 2 quarterbacks play, and both of them were pretty solid. Kyler Murray was good before the injury, and then Valentino Maldonado, for being thrusted in there, played pretty well. Both teams ran the ball fairly effectively, and both teams had some elite performances from a couple skill position players. 10 for 160 and a touchdown for Michael Mayer. 8 for 138 and a touchdown for Arturo Modelo. These 2 guys were absolutely phenomenal. Likely, Weaver, and Devontae Adams were also pretty good. Offensive line-wise, we were fine. Could have been better, could have been worse. Defensively, same thing. We had some guys play well. Devin White, B.J. Ojulari, Owen Popo, Trajan Blyshenden had a big sack. But we could not cover Michael Mayer to save our lives. That was pretty embarrassing how we could not cover him really whatsoever. Both kickers were very busy. Carlson goes 5 for 5 on field goals, while Dicker goes 4 for 4. We unfortunately didn't really stop the run that much. The weird part is the run game was really bad for the Raiders in the first half, but then Josh Jacobs kind of kicked it into another gear, and that was a big piece of their offense in the second half once Kyler Murray went down. We've got a few new injuries. Jabril Fofana, abdominal tear. Nandi Sonaga, torn labrum. They'll both be out for the next 3 weeks. So a couple of our young defensive players we will not have for the foreseeable future. As we take a look at scores around the league, the Niners did end up losing. That's good. The Rams and Seattle both won, though. And Dallas, the defending champs, kicked their season off on Monday night rather than Thursday. Players of the week, Dak Prescott, Mac Jones, Harold Landry, new addition for the Falcons, and Chris Jones. So that'll bring us to the end of the episode. Next time around, we've got week 2 on Thursday Night Football, short week, in Detroit against the Lions, and then we return home against the Philadelphia Eagles. We've got a breakout linebacker as well. Got to assume that's Devin White or Owen Popo. Both of them had pretty good week 1s. Hope everybody enjoyed the episode despite the loss. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.